Hello, and welcome to Words Unwritten, where we talk about how to create greater impact in your business and the world through thoughtful communication and a kick ass mindset. I'm your host, Nino, copywriter, ghostwriter, poet, and the owner of the Writers Rebellion. So today's episode is about creating content in an artistic way. Content creation has kind of become like an assembly line, a means to an end in marketing where we just follow the trends. We do what's expected of us, we do the blogs, we do the things, and we just like hope that it works. And obviously, content creation is very important for any business to do, whether that's social media or if it's blog writing or email marketing. We need stuff to reach our people, right? But we do the thing and expect the results, and the heart is completely removed from the process. So when we're writing our blogs based off of the SEO, sometimes that SEO just creates content that's void of feeling, and we're seeing more of this with how AI is being used. And when, it's all to just produce traffic for a website, but what else? Like, why can't we do more? And it's the same thing with social media. If we are just creating social media posts based on what's trending, then how are we creating the trends? How are we really deeply connecting with our people if we're just following the trends? And email marketing is just typically just used, or so often used, as a way to just fill that financial cup in a business. Okay, we need more revenue coming into this area. Let's do an email promotion for this area of our business, right? Instead of it being, more centered on what makes the most impact overall, like to the whole, instead of just this one little tiny area, right? So this produces the blogs and the social media posts and the emails that are just superficial and don't quite land with the audience, therefore reducing the overall efficacy of the content itself. And while having the content is going to help to produce the results that you're wanting, obviously having something is better than having nothing. But what if we redefine content as the art of our business, or the art that our business creates? What if instead of seeing it as just content to generate traffic, we see it as part of our mission to connect, educate, and to help our audience and others rise to their fullest potential? That's what this episode is about. I want to challenge the idea that content is just a means to an end, and help you realize that content can be the art of your business and how you create the impact and connection that will really help your business expand to the stratosphere that it, can be. So first, in order to understand all of that, we have to understand art. So what do we define art? The dictionary definition of art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. And I like this definition because it, while I think if you actually Google this whole definition, it does go into like talking about, as in literature or painting and sculptor, it's called sculpting and like things like that, you know, just that part of the definition alone, we can see how that can relate to anything. And, like I said in the very first episode of approaching your work with an artist mindset, um, when we are approaching things with that artist mind, we're creating something. Like truly, if you are a business owner, that business didn't start, like that business wasn't a thing before you brought it into creation, right? So you are an artist just because you created this business. Your business is your art. And so what if your business, your art, created more art? So, by this definition, anything you create is art, which is kind of exciting because that takes it out of this, limiting realm of art is just the the paintings that you make or the books that you write or the poems or anything like that. Like, art can be anything. It's when we're leaning into that creativity that we're really creating that art. And so I think that this obviously would include creating art through your blogs, through your social media posts, and through your emails. One of my favorite quotes, I actually have in my vision board because I think that it's just really encompasses everything that I care about, is art begins with resistance. And that can be obviously resistance of the status quo, or it can be resistance to what we feel we should do or feel we should be. Because anytime we feel like we should do something, then that is a social constraint. Should is the chains of society, and it's training on us, right? So every trend that you follow was initially created by somebody who just had an idea and created something new. And that can be like just about anything. Everything that we found as trendy was just somebody trying to do something cool and unique to them, and something that called to them. And then we all see the genius of it and start following suit. And in order to be that trendsetter, you have to stop blindly following the trend and start making your own magic. So how do you create that magic potion that is your artistic creative content strategy? First, you have to identify who you are. What is your business? What matters to your business? If you're a coach, then what about your coaching is impactful? What about your coaching is unique to you, unique to your industry? Where in it do you rebel from the status quo? Really having that understanding of who you are as a business, what matters to you and what you stand for, what you know really well, will help you shape what kind of topics that you should talk about in your blog and your social media posts and through your email marketing. That's going to be your foundation or your heart that you're going to lean into, because those things will inform, what you talk about, how you talk about it, and what really matters for you and your business to communicate out into the world. The other aspect is, who is your audience? What are they struggling with? What are they seeking to know, to have, or to be? What's their transformation? What would help them reach their highest potential, and what matters to them? Because you're speaking to people. And, part of copywriting, which is a huge facet of blog creation and social media and email, obviously, that is my realm. And so part of that is psychology. And we often see more commonly now, we see a lot more lean into the data. And while the data is invaluable, the data informs so much of the psychology. But we start to rely too much on just the statistical numbers of things and just the general demographic of things. And we start to negate how important it is to understand the audience truly and deeply themselves. And when we start to market towards something that we just see superficially and don't try and understand deeply, we can then come across as sometimes condescending. to the real struggles that our audience goes to, or come across very manipulative, or in a lot of cases that we see for big corporations, just completely like out of touch with the reality of people. And we don't want to do that, especially as a brand who wants to make a difference and wants to connect with people, wants to change people's lives, and wants to make an impact in the world. So having that understanding of who your audience is and what they care about, what they're struggling with, is so powerful in informing what kind of content that you create. And putting these two things together and then using the data to just inform it more will help you to create content that is truly transformational, right? So you have your component of it, which is your business and what matters to you. And then you are in touch with the people and what matters to them. Together with those two minds, you can create something that could create trends, could change somebody's life, but when you really approach it from the artist's mind of like, how am I going to create something that creates that emotion? Because if we think about art, that's what art does. When you look at a piece and all of a sudden you feel something deep inside that you were like, whoa, where's that feeling coming from? It creates curiosity, it creates passion, it creates movement, it creates movements, and we can absolutely do that through our content. When we're looking at our content as the art our business creates, we start to realize that we're artists and that we can use this to change the perception of our industry. We can use it like that's one of the things that I work to do so much in marketing, is to change the perception of what copywriting especially can be. Because copywriting historically has been seen as this really manipulative, sleazy thing. And then with the rise of AI and the prevalence of SEO, obviously these things have a very important role in my industry. But when they're leaned onto so heavily, we start losing that heart. And what I'm trying to do is create content that is leaned so deeply into the heart of the matter, right? The heart of marketing, which is to connect. Like that's what, copywriting, I say, is to inspire action. It's not to create sales or whatever the normal terms are and stuff like that. Like, your copywriting is to inspire action, and it can be applied to absolutely anything. I am a big believer in, the potential that copywriting has to create change in the world. But creating this content like these podcast episodes is one of my art forms that I'm using to try and connect with people and make a difference, and to share what little wisdom that I have in this industry, to do something positive to change things. So where in your business can you do something similar? Maybe a podcast is not your vibe. Maybe it's your blogs. Maybe it's your email. Maybe in your email marketing, you want to do something more that provides so much more value and support to your audience. So that way, when it comes time to say like, hey, I have this new program, do you want to join? It feels like the biggest and best party invitation that they've ever had, because it's an absolute no-brainer. You've already provided me so much value and changed my life just with your emails. I can't even imagine how much my life would transform with you as my coach, or with, this course that you have, or this product that you're selling. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's so pushy and stuff. And that's when you're like leaning into that value-based marketing towards your audience that you deeply understand. So overall, I think that whenever we're leaning into creativity and curiosity and innovation, that's when we're leaning into that artist's mind. And that's when we're becoming those business artists that can change the world and can change people's lives and can change your business, right? Your business is one of your masterpieces. When you approach it with an artist's mind, you create something magical, something that can change lives, change the industry, or even change the world. So, with that, I thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow, and review. Do all the things. Your support is life giving. And most importantly, remember, words are powerful. So go out there, make some magic, and let's start a revolution.